Texas is a big state. Like, there's no way about it. You're going to be driving through it for days, no matter which direction you head.
But we actually ended up spending more time in Amarillo than we planned. It was going to be a couple of nights because of work, and then we found out there was plenty to do there. So we started with the super touristy things.
For sure. So the first stop was Cadillac Ranch. If you're not familiar with that, in the 1970s, they buried 10 Cadillacs from 1949 to 64, nose down in a row. And it was this weird kitschy art installation. And then over the years, it became a roadside attraction. And they started, people started graffitiing the Cadillacs, and then it just became a thing to do. And so now they encourage you to do it. And really, I'm not sure how much of those Cadillacs are still standing it's really just paint and layers and layers and layers and more layers of paint at this point.
I think it's just the shapes of Cadillac made out of paint.
So the university that you went to and I worked with for a while has what we call the rock. And the thing to do is paint the rock. And so the student groups paint the rock. And I know how many layers of paint are on that because a few years ago, they took a core sample of all the paint layers and it was ridiculous. So I can only imagine how many core layers are on these Cadillacs. But it was impressive. And so again, very touristy along Route 66. And then we capped off, we were actually there on Easter. And so we went and had our Easter dinner at the Big Texan. And that is the home of the 72-ounce steak dinner challenge, which we did not do. However, I just had a 12-ounce steak and some side dishes, and you had a steak dinner as well. And we had a really good time. I mean, it is a little kitschy, but it's been there. It was an original Route 66 attraction. And when I-40 was built through Amarillo and it bypassed Route 66, the owner said, well, I guess I'm moving with it. And he didn't want to go out of business. And he has been operating next to I-4 ever since and doing a wonderful job. So those are probably the two major kitschy touristy things that you should see and do in Amarillo.
It's easy to get to. It's right off I-40. I think you just said I-4.
Oh,
it's
I-40. Sorry, I-40.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's right on the shore from I-40. It's very kitschy. It's a friend of mine once described it as if Texas threw up all over Wall Drug. If you've been to Wall Drug in South Dakota, so it's very much like that, but on a smaller scale. But the food is really good. I mean, they do have great steaks. They have good service.
Oh yeah, it was a very fun experience. A great way to spend Easter for us being on the road.